We run a temporary accommodation facility in Irvine called Victoria House. It's in partnership with the local authority. We deal with short stay temporary accommodation. The average length of stay is normally about 21 days. So as people arrive, it's quite intense getting a housing support plan together, preparing that support plan to allow them to take it on to the next provider of the next stage of resolving their homelessness. We've got very close working relationships with the local authority, and the partnership working seems to be the key in resolving the homelessness for people. I think the thing that's different to our approach is, first and foremost, the partnership working with the local authority. I also think that the service has evolved over the 13 years. It was a purpose-built building. All the staff were recruited and trained by Cunningham Housing Association, and many of the procedures and working practices that we have within the project has come from the staff team through their experiences of dealing in one-to-one with residents, and we've put them into a policy folder for all new recruits to go through an induction process. So we've got consistency about us. Well, one of the things I was talking there, that this has evolved with staff. We had a 2-week training period prior to opening the project with the staff, where we agreed the procedures and how we were going to deal with people. And one of the things that came up was that as people arrive, we would offer them a cup of tea or a coffee or a biscuit, and we wouldn't put them under any stress. We would get the information that we required just to get them booked in, and that would be followed up the following day when people were a wee bit more relaxed. And over the 13 years we've been in business, we've had over 5,000 families, and I'm very confident all 5,000 were offered a cup of tea and a biscuit when they arrived. Because a lot of people arrive here in a very distressed state. Maybe they don't have any belongings, they've no access to benefits, they've no food, and our staff intervene at that stage to deal with the crisis, and then obviously longer term to get them into benefit and get things in place to allow them to progress and resolve their homelessness. We have a weekly activity diary that's distributed to all the residents to let them know in advance what we're doing. It's very simple things. It's DVD nights. It's a bit of companionship when sitting down at the TV, putting a film on. Staff go down, we offer snacks and juices. We have quiz nights. We have a lot of the activities are based on life skills. There's a lot of cookery type activities which residents thoroughly enjoy. Not only are they learning something, but they're getting a healthy meal at the end of the process. Two of the things we've introduced here over the years is we provide breakfast. It's cereal and fruit and milk to all residents, and that's funded by the local authority. The local authority took a decision that all temporary accommodation providers would provide breakfast, a healthy breakfast for people who were homeless, and that's been well received. The staff do wellbeing checks 3 times a day, which I think is very important. We're not really checking the residents, we're checking on their wellbeing, that they're okay. A lot of residents have health issues. Part of that wellbeing check is also checking the kitchen cupboard areas and fridges to try and teach life skills about how to keep food. And what we found by doing that process was that possibly a very high percentage of residents had very little food in their kitchen areas or in their cupboards. And the staff took the decision, which we've funded through Cunningham Housing Association, to provide a supper at night. And the supper is very, very basic. It may just be toast and spaghetti, but it's been a great success. Not only does it give people a snack or something substantial to eat at night, it tends to get people back into the project early and mixing with each other and watching a bit of TV, and we found that very beneficial. And that's just come from staff feeding back that information to us. Being a new service, when we opened, we recruited our own staff team, And Cunningham Housing Association are an investors in people organisation, and they certainly invested in our people. A lot of the staff that we appointed didn't have a care sector background, but I think that was a positive for us because we had the experience in the senior team of the care sector, and we used that, but we also recognised that we would have to put staff through proper qualifications, and we've had a strategy now for about 7 years preparing staff to register with the Scottish Social Services Council, and that strategy involved offering staff access to health and social care SVQ3, which was a higher level than the required to register, but we thought we would offer that to staff, and staff have participated in that. But not only did we do that, the two under managers at the project became workplace assessors to allow us to mentor, coach and assess people on site. And that's been a major success. And the positive outcome out of that is that at the moment our staff team, 75% of them are qualified to a recognised level for registration with the SSSC, well ahead of schedule, but that's down to forward planning, engagement with the staff, and I think the workplace assessor thing of the two senior managers has been an important factor in it. What I would like to say on behalf of my staff team, I think the people that we've recruited are here for the right reasons. Many of them have experienced homelessness, so much so we attend a homelessness Sunday service at the local church, and one year we done a presentation to the church showing a number of homeless people that we had come in contact with and how homelessness can touch anybody's life. And the amazing thing of the presentation was it was no homeless people from this project, it was all friends and families of the staff. And that was to get over the message that homelessness touches everybody in the community. The staff, so they're in it for the right reasons. They've got good working conditions, they've got access to the appropriate qualifications, and we've been very, very lucky with very little turnover of staff. The only staff that have moved on recently has been our relief staff, and that is the nature of relief work. And I think it's also the fact that relief staff come here, learn their trade, and they're prime candidates for other organisations in the area because we have got a good reputation in the area.